Hi everyone. So I'm going to say a few words about the master's course that we run now out of the business school, the Cass Business School, City University London, through the Centre for Creativity and Professional Practice, which is an interdisciplinary centre involving artists, technicians, business people, psychologists, lawyers, and many others. So I just wanted to echo, I haven't got a link with Daimler, but I'm going to link with your diversity point. So the Centre for Creativity has a set of values that we all try to live by, which include encouraging diversity, being open-minded, being cooperative, taking risks. So I think that maybe there's some kind of common principles that we can build on in discussion, perhaps. Meanwhile, so the Masters in Innovation, Creativity and Leadership. Bit of the background. The way the Centre for Creativity sees the relation between innovation and creativity is that innovation requires creativity to first come up with the new and useful ideas. Those ideas are transformed into innovations through design, and then technological innovation is particularly interesting because there's this kind of constant interplay between the capabilities of the technologies and the ideas from the artists. So an artist or a product designer comes up with an idea, looks to see what technologies are available to implement that idea, maybe changes their idea a little bit, and maybe then changes the types of technologies they're looking at. So there's this constant kind of toing and froing between the ideas and the technology, which I think is a really interesting space. So in a little bit more detail about the programme, this is the timetable for the MyCall. The colour coding shows the sort of disciplinary backgrounds of the courses that we teach. So we've got 2 from a kind of technologies background, 2 from an arts background, 2 from a business background. That's the most interesting ones for this talk, I suppose. And the key points are the active kind of experience. We do a lot of learning through doing, and of course the interdisciplinary nature of the experience. And so while studying business and technology, students also do creative writing, they write stories, film scripts, they perform, so they have workshops from artists on dance, acting, singing, improv, stand-up comedy, and at the end of that they need to do a performance themselves. They do a lot of making, so they have visual artists and sculptors who come in and do workshops on visual art, and they make artifacts for a sort of final show in an art school final show sort of tradition. And perhaps most importantly, they do a lot of reflecting, which, as we know, is the kind of key practice of artists and designers. So through all of the modules on the course, they're encouraged to reflect on what they're doing and use their reflections in sort of double loop learning, so they not only learn the things that they're being taught, but they learn how to use them, how to put them into practice in their work and daily lives. So how does this work? What do students go on to do? Well, many students do go on to develop their own innovative products, startup businesses. I've got just a couple of examples. So there's Popcord, which is a USB phone charger that clips onto your keyring. Student on the MyCall set that up while he was on the programme, ran a Kickstarter campaign, and it's now a very successful product. Cycle, indicators for bicycles, same kind of story. A student from the programme set up the business shortly after he'd finished and is now being very successful. And then most recently we've got SmartUp.io, which is a virtual mentoring app for startups, started again by a student who's currently on the programme. So something about the kind of mix of things we're doing is working in the sense that the students who come off the programme are very kind of enthusiastic, excited, dynamic, and actually doing stuff, making stuff, creating their startups. So that's great. Final part of the piece is, I think, the context all this happens in. So this is a map of Tech City in London. I just read today in a report from Nesta, might be a bit biased, that London's the top city in Europe for startups. People might want to come back on that, I feel. Anyway, this is a map of tweeting activity in the Tech City area in London. Cass Business School is right there, right next to it. And therefore, our students can benefit from this really great kind of combination of, on the one hand, the high densities of artists and technologists in the businesses around the school, and then on the other hand, the kind of deliberate interventions, policies from people like Digital Shoreditch, who run a big festival celebrating outstanding creativity as a strapline. They bring together digital companies and artists and PR and advertising, lots of a big mix. And then also Creative Works London, who fund collaborations between artists and business people and technologists. So it's a really great kind of mix and environment for the students, and do take a look at our website if you want to know more. Thank you.